racist.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that.
I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive.
Hey, call me Louis. This is my spot. LuiSpot.
Why do people suddenly find compassion when evil men die? The way people are reacting to the annihilation of Charlie Kirk is making me realize that if we had social media during apartheid, you guys would have felt sorry for Hendrik Verwoerd when he got popped. Charlie Kirk and Hendrik Verwoerd are the same brand of poison. They hold the same views and beliefs. Both men built their careers on white supremacy and Christian nationalism. Charlie Kirk spent his whole life spewing poison, spreading hatred, and supporting groups that openly harm marginalized communities. He was not a neutral commentator. He was an ideologue, just like Verwoerd. Both men weaponized ideology to dehumanize millions of people. But the moment they faced consequences for doing that, suddenly the whole world is expected to just forget and treat them like innocent victims. Oscar Wilde said it best: some men improve the world only by leaving it. Men like Charlie Kirk and Hendrik Verwoerd should live in fear, because they introduced fear into the hearts of everyone they oppressed. I'm so sick and tired of these right-wing conservatives. And if what I'm saying is making you uncomfortable, maybe you should ask yourself why you're so desperate to defend people who dedicated their lives to spreading hatred.
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk's self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. As we note in the piece, Kirk has previously described Kirk as a hero and a civil rights icon. It's true. I used to be wrong. What inspired Kirk to shift his view on MLK? Why does Kirk think that MLK is a bad guy? When Kirk says that MLK says, quote, one good thing he didn't believe, what does he mean by that? Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right?
I swear to God, Nigerians' reaction to the passing of Charlie Kirk has to be one of the dumbest and craziest things that I've seen this year. For context, we're talking about a man who has come out publicly to misrepresent and misquote statistics to promote a racist agenda. We're talking about a man who said that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a huge mistake. We're talking about a man who was very much against immigration and people like you going to and working in his country. And yet Nigerians, black Africans, are now treating him like a hero after his death. Why? Because he was a Christian. Honestly, guy, that sounds like something that came out of a terribly written movie. I'm not saying that we should be happy that he kicked the bucket. The end of a person's life is not really something that should be celebrated. But people need to stop acting like his passing was some kind of great tragedy, because it was literally what he wanted. Like deadass. This man said that he's okay with there being some gun deaths if it means they get to keep the Second Amendment. Then he went and became one of said cases himself. Like, that's as poetic as it gets. Like, literally, if this had happened to someone else and not him, he would have been perfectly okay with it. And you people are carrying his matter on your head. Like, God, Nigerians. Before anybody comes for me, obviously I don't think it's a good thing for his children to have to grow up without a father. That's a tragedy. But this is exactly the type of world that he wanted them to grow up in. So
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
So now if I don't publicly grieve someone who used their platform to spread hate, I'm the monster. You're allowed to feel nothing for someone who felt nothing for you. But people are saying I lack empathy and compassion. Empathy means you can understand what someone may be feeling. Compassion is what you do with that understanding, but that doesn't mean you're required to care. It doesn't mean that you're required to grieve them. It doesn't mean that you have to make space for their pain. So why do people keep saying that I should feel guilty, like I'm supposed to at least say something? Because this is another kind of emotional labor people expect from historically excluded and marginalized individuals. Not just surviving injustice, but grieving the people who delivered it, mourning those who never saw your full humanity. That's not empathy. It is exploitation dressed up as morality. It's wild. Like, if I say nothing, I'm a sociopath. If I say how I really feel, I'm the villain. Grieving takes time, energy, and presence. The expectation that you should pause your life, your healing, even your scrolling to mourn someone who actively harmed your community is an attempt to manipulate you. I get that, but people are acting like not mourning is the same as wishing someone harm. Those are two very different things. Choosing not to use your emotional bandwidth to honor someone who consistently denied your worth isn't the same as celebrating their death. There's a difference between neutrality and cruelty, and no one gets to demand your tenderness. Now people are saying I'm heartless because he was a man of God with a family. Like I'm supposed to grieve just because he had people who loved him. Being loved by your family doesn't erase the harm caused to others, and someone's religion is not a shield from accountability. You can be a father, a Christian, and a bigot who has committed heinous acts. Does not mourning him mean I'm supporting the violence? No, that's a false equivalency and a manipulator's favorite tool. Choosing silence or honesty is not the same as celebrating harm. You're allowed to opt out of emotional labor, whether that's for a saint, someone who made a career out of causing pain, or anyone in between. So I don't owe anyone grief. No, you don't. And it's important to name what this is. It's not just grief guilt. It's emotional functioning, something that's been socialized into historically excluded and marginalized communities, especially Black people. This pressure to perform grace, to feel for those who never felt for us. It sounds like another way to attempt to control people. Grief is sacred. Compassion is a gift, not an obligation. And your energy is precious. You're allowed to keep it for people who never made you prove you deserve to exist.
What do you guys think? Share thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Let's have a proper discussion about this without having me impose my opinions and ideas on this matter. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, so that the YouTube algorithm can know that this video was so much interesting and share it far wide to more avid viewers just like you. Subscribe and click the notification bell if this is your first time watching these videos, and so that you can be notified as soon as we make a new upload on videos just like this. My name is Louis. Until next time, peace out.